It's been quite a year for Marcelo Langoni. The 32-year-old went from working at a McAllen community center to running an entire warehouse, bursting with floats, props, and building materials for the McAllen Holiday Parade presented by La Plaza Mall. What is your title, sir?
Recreational supervisor.
What's your real title?
Prop master.
Why prop master?
I don't know, I Googled it and I gave it to myself.
It's a tall order to oversee each float that will highlight the largest illuminated parade in Texas. Painstaking detail and countless hours go into each creation. It never crossed Langoni's mind that this is where his career would take him.
You see them, you enjoy them, you appreciate them, but it's never something that you look at and say, like, that's what I'm gonna do. Coming here, I was given the opportunity. They wanted to build big props. Foam was available to us, so I gave it a shot and it worked.
It's trial and error with city workers tackling the towering designs based on your favorite movies. Langoni is always on the hunt for hidden talents.
If they're good at, I don't know, say like they cut hair, that's a form of art, of its own. So you just kind of have to figure out how his talent you can use towards what you're trying to achieve.
That's how Ilea O'Donnell ended up as a parade partner too, after Langoni discovered she had an art degree.
I have to admit, this is a lot of fun. This is what I went to school for. So, it's nice I get to exercise it every single day. So yeah, it's a blast.
O'Donnell says every stroke counts to bring the molded masterpieces to life.
I'm actually taking out details compared to what I normally would do, but even from looking at them far away, it makes a difference because, this dinosaur and the rest of the float, it's going to be, all lit up, and it's going to be at nighttime, so it really does make a difference.
Is that piece going to be long enough? Have we figured it out?
Tony Castillo also had an eye for art, so the pool manager took a dive into float making.
It's a lot of learning as we go, so it's definitely a learning experience, but it's fun, and they're excited when they see a piece is finished and all done and the way that it looks. And a lot of the times they're not sure what something is going to look like when we're shaping it, and then once it's done, they're like, oh, yeah, I see it now.
Last year, Tony was simply painting and adding the special touches on float props. This year, the movie buff is in charge of his own float.
Jack's head was basically just a bunch of scrap pieces of styrofoam that I don't like to leave things to waste. So I saw a bunch of scrap stuff and I put it together and just started shaping and shaving it down. This is the first time that I've ever worked with shaping styrofoam or anything, so I just kind of figured that was the way that you do it.
Obviously, nothing goes to waste in the warehouse. O'Donnell says workers will grab bits and pieces together and transform them into works of art.
They use foam, they use chicken wire, they use paper mache, they use plaster, paint. We weld different things together.
Several of the parade floats have undergone amazing transformations.
An old Western float from last year, and so you really can't recognize it anymore. Of course, now it's got Jack Skellington instead of Longhorn cows on top, and it's got the archway has been completely redone to look like it's from the movie. So we are recycling a lot of the floats.
O'Donnell says the long days will be worth it when the children see the lighted floats gliding down the route.
I'm very excited. Last year we had a much larger turnout than we had expected, by several thousand. So it's kind of exciting, and you don't know how many people are going to show up. Either way, we hope that as many people as possible will come out here and just enjoy the parade. A lot of work went into it, so we want as many people as possible to enjoy it.
Tony says his aquatics crew has accomplished their goal as long as families enjoy the holiday experience.
I think that if they look at it and they're, the kids think it's actually Jack or like, wow, that was really neat, I think that's super gratifying. So makes all those hours of work and putting it in worth it.
The inaugural illuminated parade drew in more than 200,000 people. Even more are expected this season.
When you think of a big number like that, it's very overwhelming. So I just like to focus on like two of the faces I know, like my two daughters.
That's the ultimate payback for the long days. In Langoni's mind, those are the only judges that matter.
The success didn't come until after the parade, when she went back to school and she was telling all her friends, Daddy made the floats, and You know, she thought I even made the balloons. I let her tell people I made the balloons.
Well, maybe he didn't make the balloons, but he did have a hand in each of the floats that will light up the holidays for Valley families. For the City of McAllen, I'm Roxanne Lerma Casares.